Truth be told, we Christians aren't the most popular people on this planet, and our churches have a really bad reputation. But let's analyze this and let's talk about that for just a second. You see, I think the underlying problem is a lot of churches and many Christians, we like to just pick certain things and really just hammer in on it. And a lot of times it alternates between from one sin to the other, but we focus on this sin that people are doing or our lifestyle they're living, and we just really hammer it in. And we like to throw that word hell out there. And then we stop and we leave it at that. We just tell them, hey, you're going to hell, you're sinning, and we quit. And yes, it's important that we address sin, and it's important that we talk about the sinful nature that we have as humans and the dangers that are in that. And it's important we talk about how these sins can cause a rift and a split between us and Christ, and they can really keep us from really experiencing Jesus. That's important. But there's another side to the story that we tend to forget to talk about. And that's the most important part of the story. That is why Jesus came here. You see, the other side of this story is hope, love, and grace. It's forgiveness. And that's what Jesus brought when he came here, when he died on the cross, because we are all sinful. We are all deserving of hell. But Jesus brought forgiveness. He brought hope, love, and grace. And if we aren't preaching forgiveness, if we aren't preaching hope, love, and grace at the end of our little rants and our lectures and our sermons, then we're not preaching the truth. We're not preaching the Bible. We're not preaching what Jesus taught. We're not telling the whole story. Because if we're not putting in that other part of the story, the rest of the story, if we're not putting in the hope, the love, the grace, the forgiveness, then we're just talking about our own personal beliefs, our own personal thoughts. We're not preaching Jesus. And if our churches aren't including the rest of the story, if we're not including the forgiveness part, the hope, the love, and the grace, then we're not churches of God. We're just a cult. And that is the blunt truth. You have to include the rest of the story. That there is hope, there is love, there is grace, and there's forgiveness for everybody. No matter what the sin, no matter what the lifestyle. That's the rest of the story of Christ. Until next time, be blessed.